Okay, so I want to introduce Lauren Pavlidis and John Adams. Lauren looks after the Glide-In program in school, and John looks after the Work First program. So Lauren, if you could maybe talk about the intent of Glide-In and how it flows into and supports the Work First program.
Yes, so Glide-In, our school program, is designed to build on the capacity of young people who are looking to transition out of school and move into employment or other aspects. Now, Glide-In is about creating a blueprint, a map in some senses of how one individual might design their career journey or path. It's about finding out what the individual's strengths, abilities, skills, interests, talents, however you like to define it, and it's taking all of those interests and passions and turning it into something really unique for them. Then building it up, utilizing their social capital, their community, having strong discussions about their self-determination practices, their self-advocacy, and finding their voice to be able to tell everyone, this is what I want, this is what I need, and this is what I'd like to do in the future. And then we take all of that and we take them into the world, into life experience, into workplaces, and we give them an opportunity to look at what work is really like and what it could be like for them. This gives them a chance to take that real life experience and go, okay, I really liked that and I didn't really like that. So what does that mean for my career choices? Does that mean that I need to make some changes? Or does that mean that I need some further support or understanding?
So Lauren, the program Glide-In starts mainly in schools, and that's about building someone's capacity during school. What's the logic behind that?
So the logic behind that is that employment conversations should be starting early. It's about giving the person an opportunity to start exploring what their interests are and their abilities are and where all of this is coming from, what it means to them. When we're at school, we're following a particular curriculum that's designed by somebody else that suggests to us that this is what we have to learn, this is our path. But what is actually missing out there is an opportunity for someone to create their own voice, to find that noise, to find that opportunity to say, but hang on a second, this is what I want, this is what I need. I am an individual, I am unique. I can't follow the same path as everybody else. I need the chance to show everyone where I want to go. And the reason that we do this is because it takes a while for young people to really understand themselves and develop that level of self-awareness that you need to be able to say, this is my next step and this is where I want to go. Logically, a lot of the time, young people are looking at authority. They're looking at their teachers, their parents, anyone that's around them that can say to them, this is where you're going to go next and this is what you're going to do after school. No one's ever really sort of turned around and said, well, hang on a second, what do you want? And that's what Glide-In is all about. It's about asking them what they want. Because one of the things we know about employment is that when somebody has a passion, when someone has a firm interest, when somebody has a skill to offer within that environment, it means so much more to them. It means long-term employment. It means a career opportunity. None of this chopping and changing. None of this, I'm going to uni, doing a degree, and then turning around and going, oh, I just wasted 3 years of my life and I really didn't like that. No, this is about taking the individual and supporting them to transition from school to employment a lot sooner than what the pathway would normally suggest.
So John, out of Glide-In, you've developed a blueprint for employment or further study, which is underpinned by the discovery process. So now you've got the blueprint, where does Work First take it?
Yeah, so the Work First service can come in at different stages for the individual, and as Lauren said, as Glide-In is about the individual and the individual's interests and strengths, our Work First services are also based on finding out, discovering what that person's individual strengths are. And we all have strengths, we all have passions, we all have value that we can deliver for an employer that an employer could benefit from. So the work first can come in during the last few years of school, after the gliding program, and utilise that roadmap that's been discovered during the gliding process, and take it further with the discovery and the career, getting out further and building on those work experiences that begin in the gliding program, and go further to further explore what those vocational themes would be for the individual. And we all have themes, we all have areas where our skills and our strengths come together and give us those vocational themes that can guide us further in our career. And sometimes it might be what is that post-school study that the individual might go on to. Sometimes it might be that part-time job, or sometimes it might be someone moving directly into full-time employment. And it's very much customised to the individual, using the customised employment methodology as well as the self-determination methodology with our employment counselling. And it might be that we work with someone during the last few years of school, it might be post-school, or it might be post-university, and a person might work with us at different stages. Even people who haven't had a career and have come to us at later years in their lives can still benefit from the Work First services, where it's individually focused, and we're supporting individuals at more mature age into employment for the first time. So it is about customising it to the person. It is about focusing on the strengths and skills and supporting the individual to achieve their employment goals, as well as the employment outcomes for the employer as well. So we look for that mutuality between the individual, the family, the employer. We look for those win-win opportunities.
So when you think about the Glide-In program and the Work First program, they provide a practice model that's a continuum. So how does this differ from traditional approaches to employment?
Traditional approach. Well, I guess when you think about how Glide-In works with the Work First program, Glide-In is really just about starting them off and helping that person to grow as an individual and look at what's available to them. Get them to really start thinking, what are my next steps? Let's not wait until school is over. Let's start early. Let's start that conversation sooner. And then the beauty of Work First is that it then goes on to complement those practices by making it a more individualized process where they're able to go out into the community and look at some key elements that may have been missed within the school setting, because the school setting is only one environment. An individual is known within other environments as well, whether it's at home, whether it's at their favorite basketball event or something that maybe they volunteer for, whether it's a particular shop they always go into. Maybe they're a train enthusiast and they love going to this train shop. You can't necessarily find those things out when you're in that one school environment. Work First gives them a chance to be able to go out, explore. Who is this person beyond those walls? What more do they have to offer? What are these special skills and talents that nobody even knew about? What if this individual is quite reserved and quiet at home, quite reserved and quiet at school, but suddenly when they go into this one particular store that really ignites their passion, they're talking to everybody in the shop, and they've just got this amazing ability to connect when they're passionate, when they're excited. And that's the thing about Work First, is that it really takes the next steps after Glide-In.
John, do you have any examples of individuals that through the process have landed in places that people have gone, wow, I never thought that was the pathway?
Yeah, I think there's a huge number of examples within Work First, and working with individuals as young as 13 through to their late 50s, we've really seen different employment outcomes in all sorts of different industries. We don't have a particular sector that we work with. we approach businesses based on the individual's vocational themes, and they might change. I know when I was 15, my vocational themes were very different to what they are now. And so will the individuals as Lauren said, as they experience more and they're opened up to more opportunities throughout the journey with Work First. And we've seen individuals who have gone into industries where perhaps they hadn't thought of before, but for example, a young person had strengths in the area of coding and also musical skills and also IT skills, and we link them in with a Bricks for Kids organisation that delivers after school and school holiday services to individuals, and amazing how she's using those skills that she has to contribute to that workplace, and benefiting from that paid employment, as well as individuals who are working in restaurants and who all of a sudden they're just confident and they're outgoing because they're in a place that aligns with their passions and skills, that they're really thriving. So there's such a breadth of businesses that the individuals we've been lucky enough to work with on this journey who are now out there contributing. They may not have had expectations of working in award wages and working in the community and working part-time or working full-time, but because they're in such an environment that it's ideal for them, they're really thriving in that environment, and that might be their job long term, or like many of us, they might change jobs over a period of time. So we will work with them on that journey and build their capacity throughout that, so they can self-advocate and self-determine for their career moving forward.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much.